would you describe me?
Oh, how would I describe you?
You know what? I just had to describe you to your school nurse today. And you know what I told her?
What?
That you were bright, cheerful, enthusiastic, funny, clever.
I was going to give one or two more things, and that was generous and considerate and kind. You're really nice to people that you meet.
What are your names?
I'm Andy, and I'm your dad.
And I'm Heather, and I'm your mom.
Okay.
And what's your name?
Yeah.
I'm Elise, and this is Teresa.
Wait, how do you know Teresa? Where's she from?
Oh, us.
Do you know what Teresa does?
Do you remember how you and I met? Why we met?
I got to meet Patty Marlowe.
Whoa, who's that? And who's Patty Marlowe, in case anybody doesn't know?
He is my favorite hockey player, and he's dreamy.
Oh, he's dreamy, huh?
Yes.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
What is leukemia?
What's leukemia?
Yeah.
You mean you don't know?
Uh-uh.
Wow. Leukemia is a kind of blood cancer. And it happens inside your bone marrow, and you got it 1.5 years ago. We found out on our vacation, didn't we? We went to Monterey, and we found out on our vacation because you got a fever. Leukemia.
Oh, that's something I can remember quite a bit.
And we went to Kaiser on a Sunday morning, and your doctor sent us down to get blood work, which was really not your favorite thing, was it?
But what happened before I knew I had leukemia?
You and I went to the daddy-daughter dance on Valentine's Day for your kindergarten class, and you had a really good time there, but at the end of the dance, you were kind of limping around a little bit, and your leg hurt for a reason we couldn't figure out. Even you were on crutches for a little while, and in a wheelchair for a little while, because your leg just was not cooperating. So what do you remember about when you first got leukemia? Do you remember when we first went to the hospital? Do you remember anything about it?
I remember that I had to have a PICC line.
Yeah?
I remember that.
What's a PICC line?
A PICC line is like a thing you have in your arm. It's like a needle that stays in there for a while.
Yep. And
It
then
stayed in your arm for a while, and it really disturbed me a lot.
You didn't like that very much?
No, it really disturbed me.
Well, so what do you have now?
I have a port, which is much better.
Like, if you were going to sell your time in the hospital to your friends and say, oh, yeah, no, leukemia was a great gig, blood cancer, the best, what would you have told them about the hospital?
I would tell them that it was awful, and I would tell them that it stunk, and I would tell them that they never want to get it. And I'd tell them that that would be because they got too many presents and didn't know where to store them.
Do you have a favorite nurse at the hospital?
Nurse Jen.
What's so cool about Nurse Jen?
She really loves Tinkerbell.
Yeah.
You know what?
What?
Not that long ago, before a lot of research had been done, guess what?
What?
When they had to do lumbar punctures to get chemo where it belonged to keep the leukemia away and knock it out, they didn't really have any idea of how helpful it was to not be awake for those. And people used to just, before there was more research, when they did LPs, you had to be awake for that. So,
Well, why couldn't they go to sleep?
well, they just, that is the difference between research and not research. People
Why
figured out that
couldn't
the
they go
kids
to
who
sleep?
didn't have to feel scared and owie and all that did better.
Yeah.
A lot better.
So that's one of the reasons why we like LLS. That's one of the reasons, because
What's so special? But why is that so special about LLS?
So, about 60 years ago, LLS was founded with the mission to find a cure for blood cancers. We fund research and we fund patient services for people who can't afford maybe all the medicines because it can get pretty pricey. And to improve the lives of the families like yours who are faced with such a difficult diagnosis. And that's what we do every day.
What made you guys most afraid about leukemia?
Well,
That's a good. I think it was that we didn't know what it was. When we first found out about it, we didn't really know what it was, and we didn't know how serious it was and how worried we should be. But
And
all we heard
did you
was the
guys
word
actually,
cancer, and my brain went.
did you feel like I was gonna die for some reason?
We were scared about that, you bet. But then you know what Dr. Judy said?
What?
She said that because of research, that of all the cancers you could get as a kid, if you have to have a cancer, leukemia was probably the best one because there's such good research on it. And people who get leukemia, especially kids who get ALL like you got, they mostly get better. And when we're talking mostly, we're talking like mostly.
but it gets better all the time.
Yep. Because of the stuff that the LLS is doing.
Yeah.
That's why we hang out with Teresa.
Do you guys have any advice for any other parents? Now I'm kicking it over to you for advice to parents.
I think that you're going to discover you have way more patience and strength and courage than you ever thought you did if you go through something like this. But if you have courage and you have people supporting you and you know there's people there helping you out, it's going to be okay. Do you have any advice for any other kids who've had leukemia? Any things you'd want to tell another
I'm
kid?
saying that it doesn't seem, it isn't out to get you like you might think it is. Could I please have some money for making leukemia not happen anymore?
Absolutely, you can. We would love to contribute to that.
Thank you.
Thank you.